Okay, y'all, so I'm currently working on a jacket pattern, and since I'm working on this pattern, I just wanted to share with you guys kind of the process of how you would take a basic bodice and develop it into a jacket pattern. So this pattern is for my man, so it is for a guy. So what you would do for a guy is you would get their chest line, their waistline, their hips, the same kind of outside of just getting a bust point for a girl. So basically what I did was I added inches where I wanted it to have a looser fit. So like around the chest line and the hip line and the waistline, I added some inches, as well as I added seam allowance around this side. Now the part that I really want to show you guys is how I break my bodices or my patterns up in order to form a garment. So as you can see, I have a lot of notes on my bodice block. So what I did here was I did split this bodice down the middle. I do have a dart here. I erased these darts, lots of notes here, but I do have a dart here. So what I would do is I would cut out this dart and I would cut out this straight line in order to get two separate halves, and then this would be another third section that I would use to form my garment. So for this front part, I won't cut it on a fold. I would just cut, you know, two opposite sides. So I'll have these two opposite sides reversed. I'll have these cut two, these cut two, and I would add seam allowance where I cut. So I would add seam allowance down the center point as well as around the dart. I would add seam allowance to the outside, and I would add seam allowance to this top part and to this part here as well. For the back, it's kind of similar. I kind of did the exact same thing. I split it down the middle, but the only difference for the back is I took out the dart. So the back pattern looks a little bit different than the front pattern, of course, as well as I took this neckline, and instead of doing 3 inches down, I only did 1 inch down because the back of the neck does not need, you know, that much depth. So yeah, I split it down the middle and I split it down the top. So there's seam allowance added around this side, but when I cut it, I will add seam allowance in this middle on both sides, as well as seam allowance for these and seam allowance for these. So I hope that makes sense. So if it doesn't, leave me a comment and let me know. All right, bye y'all.